Hello everyone and welcome to our first lesson in the Learning Linux for Beginners series. I'm very excited to take you through the fundamentals of Linux where we will learn step by step and with hands-on tasks that you can follow along with me. By the end of this series, you will be comfortable navigating Linux and ready to dive deeper. So let's look into the table of contents for this course. Okay, so we will start from the basics and build up your Linux skills step by step. And here's how we will structure this journey. Section number 1 is all about the introduction to Linux and setting up your lab environment. Now we'll understand what Linux is and set up a virtual lab for practicing. We'll install the Linux on virtual machine and we'll be using VirtualBox from Oracle, but you can use VMware Workstation as well as VMware Player. Section 2 is basic commands and navigation. Now you will learn how to navigate the Linux file systems using the command line. We will have a practice session where we will practice commands like ls, cd, pwd, make a directory and touch to create and organize directories and files. Section 3 is all about file management and permissions, where we will understand file permissions and how to manage them. We again have a task section, and here you will learn and practice using commands like chmod, chown and ls-l to change file permissions and ownerships. Section 4 is working with text files, and here you can get comfortable using the text editors and viewing the file content. Now here also we have a practice session or a practice section where you can practice using nano or vim for editing files and use commands like cat, more, less, head and tail to view the files. And then we are moving to section 5 where we will learn the processes and system monitoring. The goal of this section is to learn how to manage processes and monitor the system performance. We will have a task section also here, and we will use the commands like pstop, htop, kill and df to basically monitor and control processes and check disk usage. Section 6 we will be moving, and it's all about the managing software and packages, and you will learn how to install, update and remove softwares on your Linux system. And we will have a practice section where you will be using package managers and for example apt for Debian based systems and yum for Red Hat based systems. And last but not the least, section 7 will be all about networking basics. Here you will get familiar with Linux networking commands, and we will have a task section also here where we will practice using the commands like ifconfig, ping, netstat, traceroute and nslookup to check and troubleshoot network settings. So that's all about the Linux for beginners, learning Linux for beginners. Stay in touch and I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you. Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to our course of Introduction to Linux for beginners, and this is the first section, and in this section we'll talk about the introduction to Linux, and then we will set up your lab environment. Okay, so the goal is to understand what Linux is, and then we will set up a virtual lab for practicing. Okay, so we're going to introduce you to the world of Linux. We'll cover its history, key features and the basic concepts. Now, whether you are new to operating systems or looking to broaden your knowledge, this session will provide you with a solid foundation. Okay. Now, Linux is a powerful and versatile operating system that is widely used in various environments, from personal computers to servers and also mobile devices. Linux is an open source operating system, which means its source code is freely available for anyone to use, modify, and distribute. Now let's talk about some of the key features of Linux. So let me take my whiteboard. Okay, let's discuss about the features of Linux. Okay, so Linux basically offers several key features that make it popular among users and developers. So the first one is it's an open source system. So being an open source is one of the features. Okay, Linux is developed and maintained by a community of developers worldwide. This collaborative approach ensures continuous improvement and innovation. And the second feature that I want to talk about is security. Okay, Linux is known for its robust security features, including user permissions, firewalls, and encryption. It is less susceptible to malware compared to other operating systems. The next feature that is after the security is stability. Okay, Linux is highly stable and reliable, making it ideal for servers and critical applications that require long uptime. Then the next feature is flexibility. Flexibility, right? Linux can be customized to suit various needs, from let's say lightweight distributions for older hardware to full feature distribution for desktops and servers. The next feature is performance. Okay, Linux is effective and can run a wide range of hardware, from low power devices to high performance servers, as mentioned above also. So these features contribute to the widespread adoption of Linux across different industries and use cases. Okay, so I will go ahead and now we will talk about the history a little bit. Okay, so the history of Linux dates back to the early 1990s. Okay, 1990s. Linux is inspired basically by an operating system called Unix, which was developed in the 1970s. Okay, and it was developed in Bell Labs, at the Bell Labs. This Unix, and uh, and Unix basically introduced many concepts that are fundamental to modern operating systems. Okay, now let's talk about the birth of Linux. Okay, in 1991, basically in 1991, uh, a guy named a guy named Linus Torvalds, right? Linus, not Linux, sorry, Linus Torvalds. Basically, he was a Finnish computer science student, announced the creation of a new operating system kernel, which he named Linux. He released it under the GNU, which stands for GNU. Might hear this again and again, which basically stands for General Public License, or you can say GPL. Okay, General Public License, allowing anyone to use and modify it. Okay, then the open source nature of the Linux attracted developers from around the world, leading to rapid growth and improvement. Various distributions for, or we call as distros, we'll talk about this, distros of Linux emerged, and each was tailored to different needs and preferences. Now, today, Linux powers a significant portion of the world's servers, supercomputers, and also smartphones like via Android and many other devices. And it continues to be actively developed and maintained by a global community. Now, understanding the history of Linux helps appreciate its evolution and impact on the tech industry. Now, you should be familiar with a few of the basic concepts and terminologies of Linux. Okay, so the first thing that you need to understand uh, is the word or uh, terminology. In that comes the first thing is kernel. Okay, this kernel is the core component of the Linux operating system, and it manages hardware resources and it provides essential services to applications. The Linux kernel is known for its efficiency and stability. I mean, all the distros will use the same kernel. Okay, all the distros will use the same kernel, and then on top of that you might have some packages, software applications, and tailored for the particular industry or application, right? Then the second thing you need to know is the distributions, uh, distributions, or you call as distros, right? And distribution is a complete operating system based on the Linux kernel. It includes the kernel, it includes the system utilities, libraries, and applications. Now popular distributions include you might have heard about Ubuntu, right? These are distribution popular ones. Fedora, you have CentOS, and you have and the Debian, right? Debian. I mean this Ubuntu is based on Debian, but Debian is also a separate distribution. Now different distributions cater to different needs, as I said, and preferences, offering a variety of feature and user experiences. Next thing Next thing that I want you to be familiar with is the term which is the command line interface. Command line interface, or you can say CLI. Okay, command line interface. The command line interface is a powerful way to interact with Linux. While graphical interfaces are available, um, many users prefer the CLI for its flexibility and efficiency. Now, if you are a network engineer, you would know what CLI is, and if not, then you might have seen the CMD shell in the Windows. That is kind of the CLI. Now, then also you have to uh, know the term shell, right? Shell. And the shell is a command interpreter that provides a user interface for interacting with the operating system. Common shells include bash, z shell, and fish. Okay, then you have the word or term commands. What are commands? I mean, it's simple, but let me just explain it to you. Linux commands are used to perform various tasks, right, such as navigating the file system, managing files, and configuring the system. Examples include ls, which will list a file, ls, and then you have cd and make make directory, right, to create a directory. Then one more thing is the terminal. Now, what is the terminal? The terminal is an application that provides access to the shell. Okay, it will provide the access to the shell. It allows you to enter and execute commands. Okay, so this terminal helps you to achieve these two. Learning to use the CLI is essential for effectively managing and configuring Linux. Okay, now that's all about the distros, right? Now before we head and install the Linux, you need to choose a distribution that suits your needs. So we will discuss some popular options for beginners. Okay, and the number one is, and my choice is also this one. So this is the Ubuntu, right? This is the known for its user-friendly interface and extensive community support. It's a great choice for newcomers. Then the second option that you have is Fedora. Fedora. This offers you cutting-edge features and a focus on open source software, ideal for those who want to stay up to date with the latest technology. Okay, and the third one that you can start using is the CentOS. Now this is totally based on the Red Hat Enterprise Linux. This one basically is a paid version, but this is the free version. Okay, it might not have all the security features and other features that the RHEL actually has, but this CentOS will have at least some of its known features, right? And it's basically known for its stability and suitability for servers. The last one is Debian. One of the oldest and most stable distributions, right? It emphasizes free software and is the basis for many other distributions, including the Ubuntu. Now, you have to choose a distribution that aligns with your goals and preferences. Now, I am going to choose the Ubuntu for this whole course. But once you are familiar with this one, when you are okay with this one, you can go ahead and try this and this and this, right? I mean, these two will be almost similar, but that's all about the introduction to the what do you say, to the Linux. And uh, and in the next lecture we will set up your Linux lab. Okay, so I will see you in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye.